you're going to see more and more narratives about racial hatred on campus especially, even if the left has to contrive them out of whole cloth. Great example of this. Last week, students of color, what color? I don't know, at White Bear Lake High School South Campus in Minnesota were invited into a group chat on Instagram where they were sent threatening and racist messages. Oh man, this is a big deal. These, classic white supremacists in high schools are going in, threatening these students, and this is going to be a big school-wide issue. And then, oh, wait a second, nope, never mind. Never mind, it's okay, no big deal, nothing to see here, let's move on. Why? Because it appears to have been a hoax. I could have told you. I couldn't have told you with 100% certainty that this was a hoax, but I would have bet a lot of money that it was a hoax. I actually detail countless examples of this in my upcoming book, Speechless, available now for pre-order, which is that on issues of race, on issues of sex, you hear again and again and again, the racist, there was a burning cross, there was a swastika painted, there was the N-word painted all over people's dorms. Oh, it was a hoax. Oh, it was fake. Oh, they made it up themselves. The same thing is true of the alleged campus rape epidemic, time and time and time again. How many high-profile examples do we need? Going back to the Duke lacrosse case of hoaxes here. Why? Why are there hoaxes? Because the left knows that the narrative is extraordinarily valuable and victimhood carries social currency. So if you create incentives for that sort of thing, you're going to get a whole lot more of it. That's the way the business works. That's the way Grievance Incorporated works. And if you create incentives in the other direction, towards, say, virtue, humility, resignation, courage, all of these virtues, prudence, then you will get more of that as well. Why are these students creating the hoaxes? It's not even just the students' fault. It's not that they're total fraudsters. I mean, they are fraudsters, but it's not that this came out of nowhere. It's because that is how they're being educated. That is the indoctrination that they're getting in school from a very young age. It's what they're being taught. The Santa Clara County Office of Education just gave a presentation to educators that had to have these struggle sessions, how to indoctrinate children in this ridiculous racial ideology. The presenter here was a guy named Jorge Pacheco, and this comes to us via Chris Rufo at City Journal. This is what the presenter told the teachers, quote, "We have to be extra careful about what is being said, since we can't just say something controversial now that we're in people's homes. Parents can take out of context or see what materials are being used. So we need to be careful of what they see. The kids become a subject, and you are intending to awaken them to the oppression that they aren't aware of, but that they are actively participating in. Then how to lead to social change." Wow. This is out of a cartoon that this guy would say this. One, our education is so radical that you have to hide it from parents. The implication here, parents should have absolutely no say in how their children are raised. Only we, the radicals who have taken over the instruments of the state, only we should have a say in that. And three, false consciousness. This is an idea that was developed by the neo-Marxists after, it comes from the idea of Marx that basically you have to awaken the proletariat, the working classes, the oppressed masses to their own oppression, because turns out that the working classes tended to have some common sense and they didn't go for the radicals' crazy theories. So then beginning with people like Antonio Gramsci, the Italian Marxist philosopher and communist politician, the Frankfurt School, later on the New Left, which was led by one of the chief figures from the Frankfurt School, you see this idea really flowering during the second wave of feminism in the 1970s, when people would have struggle sessions, no different than the kind of indoctrination people are getting in their workplaces or in their schools right now, where, I kid you not, women especially would go into these struggle sessions. They'd feel happy. They'd love their family. Maybe they'd bring a little Tupperware of some delicious treat they made, right? And they go into the struggle session and they leave extremely irritated and angry and resentful because they had been made aware of their own oppression. There's a very famous essay. I also detail this in my book. There's a very famous essay called The Personal is Political, by Carol Hainish. This is credited with really epitomizing the second wave of feminism, where they celebrate this, where these women celebrate going to the wine and cheese soirees, WHINE, and they would go and they'd say, oh, I'm so glad that I'm angry now. I was so happy before this and I loved my family, but I'm so glad now that you, radical feminists, have given me this resentment, made me aware of my oppression. That is exactly the same thing that this presenter in the Santa Clara County Office of Education is doing. They're saying we need to awaken children to their own resentments. If they're not resentful already, we need to instill resentment in them. Only that way can we have revolution. Hey, before you go, I need you to smash that subscribe button, hit it, ring the bell. You know, sometimes YouTube doesn't always want to recommend these videos in people's feeds, so make sure you do that and you will not miss another video.